Hello subscribblers, welcome back to another Sunday speed paint and a continuation of Sketchtober, part 3. Gonna be doing prompts 10 through 15, starting with basket. Initially, the sketch in my sketchbook was really messy, but I had an idea of what I wanted. I love those stereotypically overly dressed gifts that you see, whether it's for your partner, or just for a celebration, or even stereotypical picnic accessories that make no sense in some movies. I always wanted to try to assemble a really nice flower garden, so I don't actually know, because I'm not a florist, if this batch of flowers is actually something that would look good together, but I had fun drawing it anyways. And the next prompt that I worked on was Pride. Now this one I initially was going to do a single lion sitting on a world painting it, but then I thought of the idea of two gods that created this planet, and they turned themselves into the sun and the moon to monitor it, and then I also thought of the definition of pride being the feeling of satisfaction over one's achievements, and I thought that could be something that they're prideful of the fact that they made this world and they're just monitoring it as sun and moon lion gods. And in general, I just like lions. They're big and fluffy and brave and really cool, and I was happy with the end result. Next was Tumble. I have my character here, Cinder. Feel free to pause if you want to see the ungodly initial sketch in my sketchbook. I decided to change the position. Instead of falling forward, they're falling on their backside, and then I also wanted to add in a little bit more background since I didn't want them to just be floating in the air. I wanted it to look like they were indeed tumbling down a hillside, because Cinder lives in a desert filled with a lot of hills and a few cliffs, and this is an oopsie that happened, and I thought it would be kind of just a little tiny detail, but I think it adds to it that they're not bruised, but they have dirt on them, so you don't know how far they're falling. Next, prompt 13 was mask. Initially I wanted to do some sort of deity with a fancy spooky mask, like a kitsune maybe, but I wanted to try something simple for this one, of a black cat with a little bit of white accented little sock paws. Every time I see a cat that has different color on their paws, I always think that the cat's wearing socks. You can't change my mind on that, I'm set on that, but I thought it would be kind of spooky to have them wearing the sort of like spine and the skull of another creature that has horns to kind of intimidate and scare away any competition, or just in general, just a spooky cat with skeleton bones mask. And then I was still stuck on bones. My initial sketch was going to be an eel monster. I didn't like that, so I was still stuck on bones, and I thought, what if there was a skeleton that sunk to the bottom of the ocean, and an eel found it and wrapped itself around it to kind of contain it. I had struggled with how I wanted the bones to be positioned, but thankfully in the end I got the nice position, and I thought, well, it needs algae and maybe some seaweed on it to show its age. I could have cracked a few ribs, but I thought that would ruin the design, and I kind of went for a blue ribbon eel, but not really. And lastly, we have Autumn. I had so much fun with this, not only with the fact that I got to draw my favorite things for fall, but also learning how to do different colors and textures, and the importance of line weight here to make my artwork look three-dimensional instead of flat. I've also been obsessed with the fall leaves. I love the colors and the shades of deep reds and yellows and oranges mixed in with those greens, and of course acorns. I've been collecting them like a little gremlin in a little mason jar. But also, if you're struggling with textures, highly recommend trying this out, because this helped me out tremendously. I'm learning so much from Sketchtober, and don't forget to tag me if you've made any of these prompts. I'd love to see them. Check out my playlist for previous videos if you've missed them, animation, memes, story times, and more. And for those of you who have not, you're gonna get a stab from Vixie if you don't push that subscribe and like button and share some comments below. Thank you so much, subscribers. See you next time. Bye-bye.